12.
All right, we're back here on Bounce TV talking a little Southern Fried Football with Mark Packer here. Had a fun weekend of college football games.
Well, of course you did. You're a Georgia lady. I mean, come on. Your dogs beat up on my Tigers. Of course you had a good weekend.
I came back smiling. Came back to work smiling.
Do you have confidence now in your guys? I mean, Gurley is a grown man now.
Gurley is incredible. I mean, I think he's still running. Al was saying toward the end zone right now. Still trying to chase
There's
him.
only one thing that looked better than Gurley running last week.
What was that?
You and these boots. Can we get a shot of Christine in the boots?
Hey, look.
Look
I gotta
at
rock
that.
the boots sometimes.
Listen, that's Southern Fried Football. You know, when you go hitting the road, you get all the sweethearts, the co-eds, they all have the sundresses on, and they wear the boots.
Look, I went to school in Georgia. I know what to do during football season.
I think that you got it going on.
Hey, you mentioned Todd Gurley. Let's talk about the Heisman watch. Is it too early to talk Heisman yet?
Well, for a Georgia fan, no, it's not too early. I mean, Todd Gurley's got to be in the hunt, but it is too early. I mean, Kenny Hill last week with Texas A&M.
He was awesome.
Sensational. Nobody saw that coming. A&M knocking off South Carolina.
Sure.
Those two guys, I thought, elevated themselves in terms of the big picture. But all these guys on this list, Marcus Mariota this weekend.
Yeah.
Oregon's got a humongous game with Michigan State.
Humongous.
Great game. And again, I've talked to all these guys. Amir Abdul at Nebraska had a big week last week. Melvin Gordon got injured a little bit in the second half against LSU.
Right.
Jameis Winston, the defender, needless to say. But it's too early for the Heisman. But there were two guys last week, Todd Gurley and Kenny Hill, or Kenny Trill, as he likes to call himself now.
Not Kenny Football.
No. Even
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel went there and he said, listen, Kenny said, no. I'm Kenny Trill. So whatever it was, he was spectacular last week.
He was fantastic. All right, let's look at the latest AP poll here. And you tell me what you think, Mark, about some of these. South Carolina falling to 21 out of the top 10 here. What do you think about Florida staying at number? Because they struggled a little bit against Oklahoma State.
Well, it's Florida State, but let's make it.
Florida State,
the Gators would love to be number one, but nevertheless, I think the most interesting thing, number one, the polls really don't matter. We've got this committee now with the playoff.
Right.
Really, whatever they say is going to be the deal, and that's not going to be until October. But I think the one thing that jumps out at you with the AP poll is that there were 7 teams this past week that received number 1 votes, which tells me after the first week of the college football season, we actually have more questions now than ever before. But the fact that we had 7 teams receive number 1 votes, people around the country watched football last weekend and went, man, I'm not sure who's the best team. That's the beauty of college football.
Sure. I don't know if I want to be on this committee, too, because it just seems like so much football to have to keep track of, and then at the end, figure out who should go to this playoff.
Christine, first of all, you're watching all these games anyhow. Number 2, they probably will pay you. And number 3, I think you get as many boots as you could possibly wear on the committee.
Okay,
so for
well,
you,
then I'm there.
It becomes a fashion statement. I mean, life is good for you on that. I'd jump all over. Forget Condoleezza Rice. Let's get Christine on the bracket.
Hey, sign me up. Okay, I'm convinced. Hey, really quickly, let's talk about the big games coming up this weekend.
Yep.
You had already mentioned Oregon.
Michigan State is a monster game. Southern California and Stanford. It's kind of a West Coast thing, but it is an interesting weekend out west. And, of course, Michigan, Notre Dame, which I'm going to tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Mark.
You got it.
All right, we'll be back after this.